10, 9, 8, 7.
Good morning, everyone. Hello to everybody who is watching us. Dzień dobry, what means good morning, but in Polish. I'm Magenta.
Hello, how are you?
As a representative of Legia Warsaw, I will be your guide today. We are located in the middle of big city, the capital of Poland, Warsaw. Here where in 2010 was built the new Legia Stadium to replace the old one. This capacity of the stadium is 31,000, but actually now we have a problem because we played all the games behind closed doors. It happened everywhere. It happened in Poland, other countries, cities and clubs. What can we say? What can we do? We can only strongly believe in better times to go. This is the one reason why we are here today and why I'm talking to you now. Why Legia? Where did this name came from? Legia was founded in 1916 by Polish soldiers of Polish legions under command of Marshal Józef Piłsudski, our national hero, who was fighting to regain independence of Poland. In the club like Legia, we found out every day that football has a huge force to change the world and change our community in a positive way. It's all about competition, fair play, teamwork, strong character and commitment, and these features are needed in everyday life as well as on the pitch, because physical education is a part of human culture. What is Legia now? What means Legia now? Legia is one of the most recognizable Polish brands and very important symbol of Warsaw. Last decade was the most successful in our history. We won 6 times Polish championships, 6 times Polish Cup. 4 times we played in the group stage of UEFA Europe League, and 1 time we played in the group stage of UEFA Champions League when we played against such a big clubs like Borussia Dortmund, Real Madrid, Sporting Club of Portugal, and it was quite an amazing experience, believe me. What else? Annually, the stadium is visited by more than 500,000 people during matches, other events and trips. Employees of the stadium work here from Monday to Friday and even during the weekends. So we used to call the stadium our second home. But we opened this year, in the middle of July, we opened the second Legia's home, Legia Training Center, 30 kilometers away from here. We opened the state-of-the-art new training facilities with 8 pitches, 6 with natural grass, 2 with the artificial grass, 9,000 square meters building with gym, sporting hall, dormitory for the academy, hotel for the first team players, what else? Conference rooms, offices, research and development center with the wellness area, and many more. I can speak about it endlessly, but my boss will speak more about it in the best words, in the most proper words. You will see that after. Okay, so what about me? I don't like speaking about me, but I would like to introduce myself to you. I am employee of Legia since 2016, but my experience with Legia began a little bit earlier, few years earlier actually. I'm not a Legia supporter since my childhood. Unfortunately, I can't say that because I'm from Wrocław, but I choose the field of my studies concerned with the sport. That's why it was one reason why I follow Legia on every single step in the matters of marketing, sports, of course. Hello again. Sorry for the technical issues, but I am back to you now. Okay, so what did I say the last words? It was about my field of studies. I choose this field of studies concerned with sport because I'm passionate of football. And I follow Legias on the every single step in my career, yes. But on my master studies, I decided to apply to one of the biggest internship program in Poland. And I applied to Legia. I filled in some training exercises and I was invited for a meeting here with Legia's representative. Then I got the internship in Legia. It was amazing for me, absolutely. It was during my master studies. Oh, I repeated. Okay, so then I spent half year in the sports department of Legia. It was for me big adventure, really. I had amazing opportunity to cooperate with wonderful people here from Legia and from the UEFA also, because we cooperate with the UEFA within the operations and preparations to the match days on the UEFA Europe League. What more? After this half of year, I have to go back to complete my studies. But I wish to be back here permanent. And this opportunity appeared a few years after. And since that time, I'm employee of Legia, and I basically work in Legia Training Center project, although I supported the other departments within the club. But to be honest, the closest to my heart is really Legia Training Center product placement project. There are three words that could describe why I choose Legia, why people choose Legia: engagement, supporters, and heritage. What about engagement? Emotional engagement of people to work here. People who work here are really strongly devoted to their work. Legia is not like the other companies, you know. This is something more. And these people, with supporters of course too, made me love Legia. What else? Supporters. The best in Poland, the best in Europe, and maybe in the world. Maybe in a par with Liverpool supporters, who knows. Heritage. Legia has an amazing and very rich heritage and history, which will show you a repository of knowledge about the history of our club. Victor, who will speak to you right now. Now I would like to invite you to spend with us some time, to meet my colleagues from the other departments and other people involved in Legia, engaged in Legia. Let's start the adventure with Legia right now.
Has been with Legia for over 50 years now and has been taking care of the Legia Museum, and actually came up with the whole idea to have a museum about Legia to store the tradition and history of the club, and has been taking care of it for a decade now, and he will tell us a little bit about Legia's history and tradition now. So let's go. And I'm going to be translating him. Sorry.
Historia naszego klubu wywodzi się z legionów Józefa Piłsudskiego.
Legia, the football club, is strictly related to Polish army.
Już tak? Początki są 1916 rok na Wołyniu podczas działań zbrojnych zawiązała się drużyna legionowa.
So in the wartime, in 1916, the football club started.
Barwami, tak jak widzimy, były białe i czarne. Nawiązywały do pierwszego sportowego klubu w Polsce Czarny Lwów.
The first colors, the original colors of the club were black and white. Right now it's red, white and green. Sorry.
Ta drużyna istniała od 1918 roku. Następnie, gdy armia Józefa Piłsudskiego przeniosła się do Warszawy,
So the team in black and white colors was active until 1918.
powstała drużyna już o nazwie Legia Warsaw.
And in 1918, a team called Legia Warsaw started in its official colors right now.
Początkowo Legia była tylko klubem typowo piłkarskim.
First, Legia Warsaw was only a football club, but then we started adding more sections to it.
Następnie przerodziła się w klub wielosekcyjny.
Such as tennis, swimming,
Był boks,
boxing,
tenis,
as I said, tennis,
kolarstwo,
bike,
hokej,
hockey,
no i wiele lekkoatletyka i jeszcze inne dyscypliny sportowe.
and some other sports.
Lata 20. To był rozkwit klubu.
The 1920s were a time in history which was the best for the Legia club.
Legia była coraz potężniejszym sportowo klubem.
Legia was getting stronger and stronger as a sports club.
I do swoich barw biało-czarnych dołączono też zielony. Był to kolor symbolizujący wojsko.
And that's when we added another color to the official colors, black and white. We added green, which was a symbol for Polish army.
No i tak Legia słynie z tego, że przewinęło się w niej bardzo dużo znanych postaci.
Legia Club is known for its many famous people involved with the club, such as Kazimierz Górski.
Jedną właśnie z największych takich postaci jest Kazimierz Górski, trener tysiąclecia naszego kraju.
Kazimierz Górski was a football coach of our national team.
I przeszedł w Legii, przeszedł drogę od zawodnika poprzez trenera.
First, he was just an athlete, one of the players for Legia, and then he became a full-time coach, one of the greatest Legia has.
Następnie był trenerem reprezentacji Polski, z którą osiągnął największe sukcesy w historii naszego piłkarstwa.
And at the end of his career, he was even a coach of the national team and had the biggest success as a coach for Legia.
Tu w gablocie widzimy na górze jest miniatura pomnika pana Kazimierza, który stoi przy Stadionie Narodowym.
Here's a little Kazimierz Górski trophy. That's his that he received for his great accomplishments for Legia.
Natomiast na samym dole jest fragment krzesełka, na którym pan Kazimierz do końca swoich dni oglądał mecze Legii. Jeszcze to jest krzesełko ze starego stadionu.
And here we can see a part of the chair that Kazimierz Górski sat on during every game till the end of his life.
Natomiast ta piłka, tu możemy powiedzieć taką ciekawostkę, że została skradziona z grobu pana Kazimierza Górskiego.
And this football that we see here, a little fun fact is that it was actually stolen from his grave, from Kazimierz Górski's grave.
Kiedy w prasie ukazały się komunikaty i policja wszczęła śledztwo,
When people started writing about the whole thing in newspapers,
złodzieje się przestraszyli i podrzucili tą piłkę w okolice cmentarza.
the robbers that took the ball got scared and actually brought it back to his grave.
Żeby kolejnych takich nie było kradzieży, to syn pana Kazimierza, Darek Górski, przekazał tą piłkę właśnie nam do klubowego muzeum.
Jego syn?
Tak.
To avoid the situation happening again, the son of Kazimierz Górski took the ball from the grave and gave it to us to have it in the museum.
Zapraszamy. Legia jest jedynym klubem w Polsce, który występował na wszystkich kontynentach.
Legia is the only football club in Poland that played on every continent in the world.
Takim największym wyzwaniem to była wizyta w 1959 roku w Stanach Zjednoczonych.
In 1959, Legia visited the USA for a match, and it was the biggest cup, the biggest trip for the club.
Wiadomo, Polska była krajem komunistycznym i w innym obozie wojskowym były Stany Zjednoczone.
It was a difficult times for Poland it was during the communism times, and the USA was the opposites.
A Legia była wojskowym klubem, także to odbiło się bardzo szerokim echem nawet na świecie, ta wizyta.
And Legia was still a part of the army. It was the army club, and it was a bit of a controversy in the world and in our country.
Amerykanie byli zaskoczeni wizytą Polaków, a ponieważ propaganda amerykańska dosyć niepochlebnie wypowiadała się na temat komunizmu,
The Americans were shocked by Polish athletes and
podczas różnych spotkań i konferencji zadawano piłkarzom pytania, czy w Polsce są ulice, czy po ulicach biegają niedźwiedzie, czy panowie golą się szkłem.
The Americans didn't know much about Polish culture and were shocked by everything what's happening in our country, and they were asking bizarre questions to the athletes, such as, are the bears running around in the cities, or do we have cars, stuff like that.
Dopiero przy takim kontakcie i odpowiedziach przekonali się, że jesteśmy takimi samymi ludźmi jak oni.
Only when they got to know our players, they understood that we are actually not that far behind, and they understood we are actually a pretty nice country, so they liked us at that visit.
Natomiast ten okazały puchar.
This trophy.
To jest puchar za zwycięstwo Legii w turnieju o Wielki Puchar Muru Chińskiego.
We got this trophy in China for winning international football tournament in 1986. Poland won.
Natomiast ten dyplom to jest pamiątka wizyty piłkarzy Legii na równiku.
Okej, tutaj można przejść.
No tak. Idziemy dalej. A tu. W latach 70. Legia Warszawa to już była taka typowa czołówka europejska.
In 1970s, Legia was in the top football clubs
Europie.
in Europe.
Tu mamy świadectwo potęgi Legii i widzimy, z jakimi drużynami się mierzyła i była równorzędnym partnerem.
Here are the trophies, and we can see with which teams Legia was partnering with.
W roku 70 piłkarze Legii doszli do półfinału Pucharu Europy, dzisiejszego odpowiednika Ligi Mistrzów.
In 1970, Legia was as far as semi-final of the European Cup.
No to było wówczas w czwórce najlepszych drużyn Europy i taką ciekawostkę możemy podać, że odpadła z tego pucharu, przegrywając z późniejszym triumfatorem.
Legia was one of the top 4 football teams in Europe, and lost overall in the match, losing against the team that actually won the European Cup that year.
Natomiast podczas tego meczu z AS Saint-Étienne bardzo dobrze zagrał Kazimierz Dejna i został przez dziennikarzy najbardziej poczytnego pisma piłkarskiego w Europie, France Football, nazwany generałem.
During the game against Saint-Étienne, one of the best players was Kazimierz Dejna, Legia's most famous football player, and he was written about in French newspaper. They called him the general.
Natomiast wyżej widzimy zdjęcie Kazimierza Dejny i jego buty,
Here we can see Kazimierz Dejna and his shoes that he played,
w których strzelił najpiękniejszą bramkę w swojej karierze.
These are famous for being on his toes while he scored against the most beautiful game in.
Legia też oprócz turnieju mistrzowskim grała także w nieistniejących już dzisiaj rozgrywkach zdobywców pucharów.
Legia was a part of
Cup Winner Cup.
Cup Winner Cup, which is non-existent right now, but Legia was a part of them with along the other teams that are here. You can see.
Też doszła bardzo wysoko, bo aż do półfinału.
We got as far as the semi-final of the Cup Winner Cup.
I w półfinale przegrała z późniejszym również triumfatorem Manchesterem United.
And in the semi-final, Legia lost to Manchester United, who was the overall winner of the Cup Winner Cup.
W swojej historii Legia ma jeszcze pamiętne mecze z Bayernem Monachium, z Ajaxem Amsterdam.
Legia also played with Bayern Monachium,
Ajax
Amsterdam, we see it here.
Celtic Glasgow i wiele innych bardzo słynnych drużyn europejskich.
And many more famous European football clubs.
Jak to tu się stało, tak się złożyło w historii Legii, że zawsze pierwsi dokonujemy czegoś, co się staje historią polskiej piłki nożnej.
Legia is usually doing stuff that are really big for the football world as the first team in our country.
Że wspomnę pierwszy dublet, jaki Legia zdobyła, czyli Mistrzostwo Polski i Puchar Polski.
The first double win for Legia, which is Polish Cup national champion.
No i też jako pierwszy polski zespół awansowała do elitarnych rozgrywek Champions League.
As the first Polish football club, we got to the final of the Champions League.
Pierwszy awans nastąpił w 1995 roku.
The first semi-final for Legia was in 1959.
W 96.
Oh, sorry. In 1996.
Drugi w 2016.
The second in 2016.
Ten drugi był o tyle ważny w naszej historii klubu, ponieważ obchodziliśmy wówczas jubileusz 100-lecia istnienia Legii.
The second win for Legia was really important because it was 100 years after the club got invented.
Wówczas Legia zagrała bardzo dobrze przeciwko Realowi Madryt.
We played really well against Real Madrid.
I tu mamy piłkę z tego meczu.
And this is the ball that was used for the match.
Z podpisami strzelców bramek dla Legii.
And each player signed the ball.
A wynik był remisowy 3-3.
And the score was 3-3.
Teraz tutaj mamy bardzo ciekawą pamiątkę. To jest strój reprezentacji Polski.
This is the shirt that was used by our national team.
To jest nagroda za zdobycie Mistrzostwa Polski przez drużynę juniorów Legii. To. Ten strój.
Oh, okay. This outfit was actually a gift for winning the national title in 1969.
W 1969 roku, tak.
Okay.
Tutaj natomiast jest koszulka z Galerii Sław Legii Kazimierza Dejny z numerem 10 i ten numer jest zastrzeżony u nas w klubie.
This is shirt that was worn by Kazimierz Dejna, one of the biggest stars of Legia, and number 10 has been his number since the beginning, and no other athlete, a football player, can wear this number ever.
I od 2006 roku żaden zawodnik w Legii już nie gra z numerem 10.
That's starting 2006. None other player has the number 10 on his back.
To jest wycinek szatni. Tak kiedyś wyglądały szafki piłkarzy.
This is one of the lockers from the original locker room of our football players.
I to jest szafka naszego byłego piłkarza Tomasza Kiełbowicza, który dzisiaj jest dyrektorem scoutingu w klubie.
This is the locker of our ex-player, Łukasz Kiełbik. His number was 11.
Tu są jego buty, w których rozegrał ostatni mecz w Legii.
These shoes are the shoes that he had during his last game for Legia.
A grał w Legii przez 10 lat.
And he played for our club for a decade.
To jest też tablica z jego medalami, które zdobył w naszym klubie.
And these are all his trophies that he got while he played for Legia.
Natomiast tu jest taki wycinek proporczyków, właśnie o czym wcześniej wspominaliśmy.
As we mentioned earlier, these are some of the teams that Legia played against.
Spotkań Legii w europejskich pucharach.
These are European Cups matches.
I to są proporczyki drużyn, z którymi Legia grała.
So you can see the teams that Legia played against here, such as Barcelona, Real Madrid,
Blackburn Rangers,
Rovers,
PSV Eindhoven, Valencia.
Valencia,
No, same sławy europejskiej piłki.
The biggest European football clubs.
Zapraszamy. To jest główna gablota naszej placówki.
This is the main part of our Legia's museum.
I znajdują się w niej pamiątki największych legend piłkarskich Legii Warszawa.
And here we have items that belong to biggest Legia's football players.
Tu może zaczniemy od pana Lucjana Pichczego.
Let's start with Lucjan Rychczy. He
Yes.
played for Legia 1954 till 1972.
Jest jedną z największych legend naszego klubu.
He's one of the biggest legends of our football club.
Człowiek, który jako piłkarz, trener i działacz zdobywał z Legią wszystkie trofea, począwszy po zakończeniu II wojny światowej.
He was an incredible man.
I'm Dariusz Mieduski. I'm the owner and president of Legia Warsaw. Legia is one of the historic brands in Poland, sports brands. Actually, it's quite interesting because the name Legia comes from the legions, which were the army legions of Marshal Piłsudski, who is our national hero, and he is the general who led the Polish army to free Poland over 100 years ago. From Russian occupation. So this was an important part. After 123 years, Poland became again a country on the map of Europe, and it was Marshal Piłsudski with his legions who has done it. And Legia was a team that was created by his legions. So it's a nice history, and we have this military history in our DNA, and this is what makes Legia today as well. Legia follows that DNA, and today, despite the fact that it's no longer a military club, it still has the military code in its DNA and its behavior. It's always the values relating to freedom, relating to fighting, relating to winning, relating to always getting up after even defeats are something which is at the very heart of the club. Today, of course, we are in a different place where we were 103 years ago. We are one of the oldest and by far the biggest and best known sports brand in Poland. We have a number of fans which declare allegiance or sympathy for Legia at over 6 million people. So we are much stronger than the Marshal Piłsudski army was over 100 years ago. Well, Legia's future is about becoming one of the top sports, but not only sports, but generally lifestyle and youth also brands in Europe. We are the biggest sports brand in Poland, and we want to make sure that that brand also is very well known in Europe and around the world. So we're focusing on our fundamentals, which are, first of all, we just completed the construction of our new training facility and academy. So we have the most modern training facility in this part of Europe. We have an academy which is training kids and boys and now also girls to become footballers, and it's considered to be one of the top academies in Poland. It's producing many of the national team players for various national teams of Poland, including the senior national team in football. So this is one of the fundamentals. And the other one is about our digital transformation and commercial transformation. We realize that today's world and the way content, particularly the football content and sports content, is consumed is not only at the stadium, but it's also via digital tools. So we are investing very heavily in digital transformation of the club and in producing various content formats and addressing that part of our strategy for particularly youth. So we have things like gaming, we have things which relate to lifestyle, to music, to fashion. We have our own lifestyle collection. So we are progressing as a club on the commercial side to develop the brand into more than a football brand, but develop into other sports and develop into general lifestyle and well-being. Well, for sponsors, Legia has been one of the top places where they want to be associated. We have a history of winning national championships and being the most successful football club. But now they also see that partnering with Legia and a lot of different activities and marketing activities just pays off. We have, as I mentioned before, a large fan base of over 6 million people, and the sponsors are coming and the partners are coming for various projects, also digital projects and various content, new media. So it's not just typical sponsorship, but it's basically associating their brands with our brand as the most successful sports brand in Poland, and to position their brands at that level as well. And so we work with the top global brands. I mean, we are today working with Adidas for many, many years. We're working with Toyota, working with Plus 500, which is also a sponsor for several big European clubs. We have a number of global brands and also Polish brands that we work with on a daily basis, and this is something that is growing quite rapidly. Today we live in difficult times, so please stay healthy, keep the distance, and have fun.
Hello everybody, my name is Kuba Jeleński and I work in Legia Warsaw official media house, but to be honest, working here is just a part of my story in Legia Warsaw, because what is the most important, I had the fun of that team for I think my whole life. When I was a kid, it was very important to me, and I think to each kid it's important to find your identity, what you want to do in your life, who you want to be in your life. And because I was born in Warsaw, I need to make my connection with the city stronger. So when you are a small kid, you have your idols. It can be stars in music, it can be the actor, but in my case there has been plenty of footballers who I was admiring. And you know, when you are a kid, you admire all those people, you want to have a connection with them and so on. But of course it was untouchable to me to meet the World Cup stars, to meet the European Championship stars or the team from the Champions League. And I was a kid, I was admiring them for so long. But the one moment of my life, I noticed that there is a football team in Warsaw. I don't have to, go to London or to Manchester to enjoy football. And I started to get interested in Legia. I think I was 7 or 8 years, and I noticed the Legia Warsaw for my first time. Of course, I wanted to go to the stadium, but my mom said it's forbidden. You have to know that around the Polish football fans, especially in the 80s and 90s, there have been plenty of negative stereotypes, and my mom said that she won't let me go into the stadium. Of course, each child should listen to its mom, but not in this case, and I didn't listen to my mom, and I think that it was the best, or maybe one of the best decisions in my life. I was a teenager, I think I was around 15 years old, when for the first time I came with my friends to the Legia Warsaw Stadium. And to be honest, you can believe in the love from the first sight, you cannot, but in this case it was the love from the first sight. I didn't listen to mom, I came to the stadium just for once, just to see how it will be going, just to see what it's all about. And I totally fell in love with the club. When you enter the stadium, you see the passion, you see the atmosphere, you see the football going around you. It's something completely magnificent, and you can get engaged into the something for 5, for 10, for 50%. In my case, it was 150%. I loved Legia from the beginning, and since I came here for the first game, I didn't abandon even one. So I can say that, you know, my love with Legia since I came to the stadium is very, very strong, and for me it's one of the most important things in the week to visit the stadium, to visit the game. It's completely unthinkable to abandon a single game. But why it's all about that? Because as I told you, it's not the team who is playing regularly in Champions League, it's not the team who has stars who play on the highest level, but it's not all about it. I think that the football, especially football from your town, is all about identity. Identity with society, identity, the connection with the city, your club, and this is one of the most important things, I think, in the football life. As I told you, it started to me when I was 15, the first game here, and it's continuing until now. The first game I remember, to be honest, it wasn't very good. It was a draw against a very, very poor team. But the score was not the most important. When you see the crowd, you see people cheering, you really feel that you are part of the society. You are part of one society which is beginning very, very important to you. And for me, I can say, I think that football fans here at the Legia Warsaw Stadium, they became part of my family. You feel part of this family once, and you will never abandon it. It will never abandon you. But why this club is so special? There are plenty of football clubs all around the world. Some people say that there can be clubs who are, you know, higher in the league style, they play in the European Championship, they are simply richer, but it's not all about in Legia Warsaw. It's all about the history of the city, the history which can never be forgotten. The Warsaw has very difficult history. In Poland we say that God made us a joke, because he puts Poland straight between Germany and Russia. And as you know from the history lessons, these countries has been fighting against each other for so long, and we were in the middle, so we also have to fight. So the war was, I think, very significant aspect in the creating of Polish nation. And this stadium is called Polish Army Stadium. Why? Because, as usually in history, we had to struggle and fight for our identity. We have to struggle and fight for our independence. And the Polish Army Stadium is because Legia Warsaw has been created by the soldiers who has been fighting for Polish independence from 1914, when the First World War began, until the 1918. And in 1916, the Polish Army created a football team. First of all, at the beginnings, it was of course amateur team. They are starting to play games, but you know, they wanted to express their identity because of the football. So in 1916 they created the football team, who has been evolving for years, and now we have something like that. So I started from the Polish Army Stadium, from the army, from all those aspects which are very significant for the club. Behind me you can see one of the most important stands, I think, in the world. It's calling the Razor. The Polish word is Żyleta, this is the Razor. The fun fact about the Razor is that at this stand there are sitting people who are the most fanatic fans of that club. Some even say that they are the most fanatic football fans in the world. Why the Razor? Because in 1963 there has been a big advertisement of razors at the Polish Army Stadium. And people started to be more and more fanatical. They were gathering under that advertisement, and in a few years they thought that it's actually the great name when they had advertisements of the razors. So they say that this tribune is going to be called Razor, and this stand became Razor for a very, very long time, and it will also be the Razor. The Razor is sharp, also like our football fans. Our football fans, I have to tell you, they are very, very powerful crowd. When you see all the choreographies, when you see crowd they're making, the way they're cheering, you immediately fall in love in that club. Fun fact is, my mom, as I told you before, she never approved my passion to football. She was always speaking that it's dangerous and so on. And one day, when I was already an adult, I invited her for the football game, and she also fell in love in that stadium immediately. Even though the game maybe wasn't very good, it was just a regular football game, but
again.
Hello.
Now we are on the east stand of the stadium, and that time I'm not alone. With me is Jacek, who
Hello,
is
everybody.
a supporter of Legia, and who will speak about supporting. I think you will agree with me that Legia supporters are extremely committed. They,
Oh, yeah.
they create a unique community.
Well, all supporters in Poland create unique communities, but let's say, speaking about Legia, it's one of the biggest and one of the strongest, and they have like we got the biggest ultras fans preparing the special shows for each match. So it's I think it's the biggest in Poland, definitely.
I spoke before about my first time at the stadium a little bit. It was 10 years ago, or maybe a little bit more. And for me, the biggest experience and the most emotional is when I hear Sen o Warszawie from this north stand.
The beginning of each match is special. Even if you are not a fan, you should come here and check it out. I remember once I took my friend here. He was for the first time at the Premier League football match, as well as the Legia Stadium for the first time, and he was shocked. And when everybody started to sing, the guy was like, he was melting on the floor.
Yes, and Legia supporters are known around the world. I think everywhere.
Yeah, especially for the preparation and before the game and during the game, and all the I think it's the biggest and the toughest all over the world. I mean, even around the world we got supporters. So yeah, and the crowd is huge here, and it's very loud, and it's noisy, and it's a special atmosphere, especially when you start going to a football match. Like when you leave home, it's like 2-3 people walking with you. Then in the subway it's another 10. Closer to stadium it's getting bigger and bigger, and everybody it's amazing.
And I would like to ask you about your private feelings of supporting. Who brings you for the first time at the stadium?
To be honest, I wasn't going to the stadium to the matches since I was a kid. First time I think it was while I was like 20 and during the university. Friends from my university took me here. It was it was pretty much like 20 years ago, maybe a little less. So it was still the old construction of the stadium. The supporters stand was actually like this one where we are here. Right now it's a little bit changed, but it's a good change in the stadium right now. It's much better, much bigger, and better organized, and it's a great place. It's not only for matches, also music festivals are being here, many other events.
Yes, because you have a unique experience.
Yeah,
here
that's
to,
true. That's true.
Organize it.
I've been working. I've been working here preparing music festivals for a couple years in a row, and it's also a great place to do that, and it's a great place to work like in the backstage.
Okay, but during the game, let's go back to the supporting. During the game, which tribune you choose for the new stadium now?
When I was younger, I used to go to the Ultras stand, and this is the stand where you actually don't watch the game, you just support the team. There is very often you are covered with the big flag, so you can see even the game. But these days, I usually come to the let's say more calm stand with all supporters, which I'm sending greetings right now to Wiesław and Joe Mack, my friends who are on every game. And yeah, this is let's say the easier stand to be here. Yeah, on the other one, on the ultra stand, you gotta be a supporter. It's not about the game; it's about the team.
What do you think? Have you ever think about the feelings of players who can hear the loud support?
I've been
what is
thinking,
in their
I've been thinking
brains?
about this a lot lately. Because lately, when we watch the football game and in a TV, it looks like a training actually for me, and I believe it must be very annoying for players not to having the 12th player on the stand.
Yes, exactly. And when we go to the another stadium, this is the situation changed.
It changes, yeah. You don't have anti supporters, yeah. But still, there is a huge group of Legia supporters who is going on every game all over the world. There is like never team is never left alone, yeah.
Do you remember the one special game you remember the most?
Yeah. I think it was with Wisła Krakow, 5-2, and I remember that I've seen only two goals because of the support, and there was like smoke and big flags all over the whole stand, so we didn't see the pitch and we couldn't follow the game. I remember there was like seven goals and I've seen only two, but let's say, and I also remember, I think each time when Legia gets the national championship, and let's say party all over the city, and this is the very nice moment in Warsaw when Legia gets the national championship, and we got this party all over the streets.
Yes, this is a unique experience because I think that not each team in every country.
There are few, like
has-
we can see some, but
Yes,
buses and
but-
stuff like that. But it's not. I think not every team. But let's say not every team is winning national championships.
Absolutely. Yes, but
So they
here-
don't know what to do.
Yes, when they gain it one time, it's difficult. It's different than when you used to.
Well,
you
it
organize
was different this year,
something.
yeah, for Legia. It was different this year. It was on the river. It was very
Yeah.
special, very nice.
Because
But
of the pandemic.
Because of the pandemic story, yeah. It was different, but you can look over internet. It was very nice. Team players on the boat and supporters on the bank. It was very nice.
Yes, and because normally we supporters meet in the middle
Old
of
town, yeah,
Old Town.
when we were with
They
cameras
watch that here.
last evening,
Yeah.
you could see the place last evening. Usually the big parties over there, the monuments got Legia's colors on them and that stuff.
Could you please tell me why this is worth to support Legia? Why people choose Legia?
Well, it's a really hard question, I guess. You know, if you are a football fan and you like to watch football and you are into this, and there is a team in your hometown, you will be a supporter of that hometown. I was born in Warsaw, so let's say I had like no other choice.
But you are not only one family member who supports Legia.
Well, let's say my father and my brother are not very into, but let's say my whole neighborhood are very, very, very into the game. Even if they are not coming into stadium, we are watching the game in the sport bar or at someone's apartments. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You would like to add something? from
No,
your side?
just sit together, everybody, and watch our program and
And thank you so much. And now we will
stay
go.
with us.
Stay with us, absolutely, because now we will go smoothly to the video of the president of Legia's foundation, is Anna Mioduska.
Hello, my name is Anna Mioduska. I am the president of Legia Foundation. As we all know, Legia is not only about football, not only about sports, but it's also a big group of millions of fans and supporters, and also a big social responsibility. That's why the Legia Foundation was established. We are active for more than 5.5 years now. And we are a sort of corporate social responsibility division of Legia Warsaw. We've been founded basically to help people in need. Our first, so to say, client was the local sociotherapeutical place where children from underprivileged families are taken care of. At this moment we take care of 6 places like this in Warsaw. In total they gather around 150 kids from underprivileged and problematic families. Another area of our activities is education. We conduct a number of educational programs helping to prepare for one of the most important exams after high school, teaching languages, helping with math and so on. One of our biggest recent projects was Gotowi do Pomocy, Ready to Help, which was conducted during the pandemic lockdown. The project was mainly about supplying our senior citizens from the Warsaw area in hot meals and helping them with shopping for groceries, medications. Also, we had a telephone hotline where they could call and tell us about their problems and needs. We also assisted them with some basic technical support. During the time, we delivered almost 40,000 hot meals. We engaged during that time 500,000 of voluntaries, which were not only our fans and supporters, but also our partners, Polish celebrities, and just people living in the Warsaw area who wanted to join us in giving this helping hand to the elderly. Greetings from Warsaw, stay healthy, see together, see you soon.
Hello everyone, my name is Mateusz. I'm working in Legia Foundation since 2016 and I'm here together with Maya, who is very dedicated Legia supporter.
Hello everyone.
She's Legia supporter, but not only supporter, she is also a volunteer and she is also a tour guide.
Exactly. My story in Legia started in 2015 and it goes still really strong. I have lots of connection with Legia and every history and every moment in Legia is a big adventure for me. Now we're on the east stand of the stadium, so the stand named by the name of Kazimierz Dejna, one of our greatest legends, and here you can see the whole tribune.
My history in Legia is not too long. I started work here as an intern, but it's quite funny history because when I came here for my 2-3 month intern, I met very interesting and passionate people who I like to work with, and that's how it started. It was very simple. I also like the atmosphere here on the stadium. It's fantastic. It's like something unusual, and it can only happen here during the game, especially during the derby game with Lech Poznań or other
Big clubs in
Poland. Yep.
My story in Legia started with our club volunteers, differently than Mateusz, of course. And I have to say that our club volunteers are probably the best people that you can meet and work with.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Mateusz has the pleasure of working with the club volunteers from last season, and I think he's gonna agree that it's not exactly like a team; it's more like a big family, and
it's definitely like a big family.
We can do almost everything together, and during the matches you're gonna find us almost at every spot on the stadium, on the pitch, on the tribune, on the press tribune, and also helping the children at our children's sectors at the southern tribune.
Yeah, like I said before, Maya is a very dedicated person here in Legia, and during the full lockdown of Warsaw because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, we launched a campaign, like a huge project targeted to seniors in Warsaw. It was called Gotowi do Pomocy, or in English, Ready to Help. And it happened just like in 30 seconds. We'll show you where all action had place. But during it was launched on 23rd of April.
Yes.
23rd of April. And the first phase, which was the hugest phase, it lasted for 49 days up to 10th of July. And during that time we helped over 2,040
seniors in the world.
400 seniors, right? And we delivered during that time 32,000 of meals, but it was only the first phase. The first phase took place over here.
Exactly, you can see.
It's not something fancy, as you can see now, but during that time there was like a whole bunch of cars to the right, like tons of, I don't know those people, but yeah, I think, where are they? Never mind. I said there was like a whole bunch of cars here near the tent. There was a queue of people, of volunteers. We reached over 400 of volunteers during that time, 400 of volunteers, of Legia supporters. And Maya, I can easily say that Maya was one of the most active, together with Wojtek.
I think it's safe to say that, yeah, me and Wojtek, as I'm gonna say my partner in crime in that action, we spent lots of time together. We were able to be one of the first team that started with Ready to Help, because we went also on the first day. We had many amazing stories, lots of fun events, but I think the most important part was that we all, like whole Legia, managed to create such a big group of people helping seniors in Poland, in Warsaw.
Do you remember like some kind of funny history?
Yeah, for example, me and Wojtek got stuck in the elevator. It was our first address in that they were delivering meals. Besides keeping ourselves calm and secure, we also had to keep calm the older woman we were going to, because she was so scared that we were already in the building and somehow we got lost. So it was a long 40 minutes for us, but safely we got out and delivered the meal to her.
That was a little bit funny, but also scary, like Maya said. But it was I think one huge event in our during that.
Yes,
that
that's
day,
true.
because
We also got like the article on our website about how we got stuck in the elevator and how we got found there. So that was one of the events. But as I said, like also we got our own one of the seniors, Mrs. Halinka, that was in one of the address. And as Mateusz can say, we always were choosing the map where her address was, because for us we could go every day to even like 40 locations, but we had to go to her every day.
Yeah, that was only the first phase of Ready to Help. Then we had we launched the second phase of the project, and it started on 15th of June. And now we delivered, up to date, we delivered approximately 40,000 meals. So it's quite a lot, I suppose. But we deducted the number of seniors we reached, because during the first phase we tried to choose the seniors who needed our help the most, and now we are delivering the meals to 45 seniors. But it's not all about the delivering the meals, because we have built a whole a family of the volunteers, and it's like 12 persons who are with us every single day.
From April.
That's
good to know that they're helping us from April.
And what is important here, we are not only delivering the meals now, but we are doing some repair stuff. We are buying them medicines, taking them to the hospitals or doctors, because those seniors are alone in Warsaw.
Exactly.
They have nobody except us. So without us, they will be there on their own.
There will be very hard problems to just survive and to live normally. So people that are going with the meals now, they're going 3 times per week with the meals for every day. And they're helping with other things, but also they're the only chance for the seniors to speak with someone. That's good to know that without our volunteers, those seniors wouldn't be having any chance to speak with someone for longer than a few minutes, basically never.
What else can I say about the project?
I'm gonna say that of course, the meals were a big part of the project. They were the biggest part of the project, but I'm gonna say that for me as a volunteer, as a person who was riding with the meals, that those small moments with the seniors when we could simply speak with them for a few minutes and just see the smile on their faces because they could speak with someone, I think that was as important as the meals we were delivering. And that was, for me, one of the most important parts of the project. And also, I think the fact that it was the pandemic, we all were hoping for some kind of the human contact, and that we could have a human contact with the seniors, it was also really important for everyone.
Yeah.
Hello again, it's me again, not the last time. Now we are on the family tribune at the stadium, where normally in the match day, with full of audience of course, a lot of attractions await for children, but about that will speak Zosia, my friend from Legia's Foundation. But now we are with Paweł, who is also the representative of Legia's Foundation, but he is responsible for educational projects in Legia. Paweł, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Paweł Aleksandrowicz, and I'm responsible for education, as Magda just said. That means that on the daily basis I'm designing and coordinating our educational programs. Why education is important for the foundation? Because we believe that gaining skills is also part of better life. We do have 4 educational programs. One is tutoring sessions. The other is lessons with Legia. There is also scoring for health and football, which is about programming. Each of those programs comes from belief how to engage football for education. Sorry for the mask. I'm trying to stay safe and follow that main rule that in this period we have and that movement that move as well. I will tell you briefly about most important and oldest program in education, which is tutoring sessions. That is for teenagers 17-18 years old who are in front of the secondary school leaving exam. It is what is secondary school leaving exam in Poland, because you need to understand the importance of that period in youngsters' life. We think that this secondary school leaving exam is not. We want to guarantee that every child, every youngster will have it to fulfill its dreams, his or his dreams. That is why the target groups are those kids who are in need of education, but most of all who do not have sufficient funds to pay extra activities in after school. That is why we do it for 6 years right now. Another program which is also tackling the football as a tool is Lessons with Legia. If you look at the pitch, there is a lot of geometry, numbers and everything like this. We try to combine football and maths, for example, football and geography. If you picture yourself, your favorite team is going somewhere abroad or within our country, you can calculate a lot of kilometers. On the pitch there are shapes, so this is about Lessons with Legia.
I've seen one time this lesson and it was quite amazing, really, to use all that numbers to show kids how to use it. In maths. It was impressive.
That's why we believe that taking education to everyday life, this is important to show the meaning and practical use of education in practical life. So that is also about coding. We have this program for young people 6 to 9 years old. They program code robots on the pitch, and they play games with this. And they
this robots?
Yes. We do have this kind of a program as well. The 4th program is our international one, which is Scoring for Health. We run it with. On a European level, together with Chelsea, London, Feyenoord, Rotterdam, Shakhtar Donetsk, and it's about healthy eating and being active on everyday life. So, and it is addressed to kids in the primary school, 8, 9, 10 years old. So to build up new habits for a better life, which is about eating and healthy lifestyle. So these are the educational programs that we run. And the basic, I repeat it again because this is important, we believe in the foundation that education is also a tool for bettering life, to support kids who do not have sufficient funds and offer them skills and this kind of support, simply support.
Okay, Paweł, thank you very much. I think that educational programs of Legia and its importance, and maybe on the other clubs also.
What is important to say at the beginning, if you have yet a second, that Legia Warsaw and Legia Foundation fulfill this gap in Poland that people don't take football and sport as an educational tool. We try to show it and encourage others to do it in a similar way and share, because education is about sharing. With this, I will thank you.
Thank you, Pavel. Thank you again. And now we will move, but just a little bit. We will stay at the family tribune, and I am giving floor to Zosia.
Thank you.
Hi, it's me again from Legia's Foundation. I'm going to talk about our language school, which is another one of our educational programs. It's the result of a cooperation with Legia Foundation and the Kuzmianom Association. The importance of the project is that we want to improve the educational opportunities and foster educational equality. Also improve learning outcomes among students coping with the difficult life situations. The project takes part in North Praga, which is one of the poorest districts in Warsaw. Our students are children and teenagers from dysfunctional families that struggle with problems such as violence, poverty, drug or alcohol abuse of them or their family members. So it's really important for us to foster a safe environment for these kids. The result of our help is that our students obtain higher scores during tests and exams. They also improve their school performance. They regain their confidence and start to believe in the possibility of accomplishing success in their lives. They become an important part of the community, valuable and equal. They feel safe and they feel respected. This year is the 5th edition of this program. In the last 4 years, we had 50 students, which prove that they can have positive results during their school exams, at the final exam at high schools. They continue their education and they also go on trips to other countries to improve their learning abilities. In this pandemic situation, we wanted to keep the project, and now we have classes online, but we still have the same group of students who learn with us, and we know the importance of our help. That's why we try to keep our classes online and help our students. So remember to stay safe, stay healthy, and see together. Be in a safe environment. So kids also have like their little play sections here. When they're bored during the game, their parents can bring them out here and just let the kids have fun so the adults can watch the game. It's also the safest place on the stadium, like I said, because of the families with kids. This is a big picture of the team. It's an old picture with the old shirts. And this is Mish Kazak, which is our official mascot of the team, and it's a symbol of Legia for the kids. And kids come here and they can take a picture with the whole team.
stand for families. As I said before, it's the safest place in the stadium, far away from more energetic and aggressive, even sometimes, supporters. So the kids feel safe here, and the parents are also safe that their kids will be fine. Now we are walking to another section. We're walking out of the family stands.
Hi everyone, my name is Kuba. I'm pleased to meet you one more time. Now I want to say you something about the history of Legia Warsaw, of this great club. As I told you before, in Poland we say that God, when he was creating the world, he made us a joke to the Poles, because he put us straight into Germany and Russia. And as you know from the history lesson, these two sides are fighting very often. Unfortunately, usually they meet in a center, which means they meet in Poland. So very often we have to fight for our independence. It was a similar situation during the First World War from 1914 till 1918. And in 1916, we as the Poles were struggling to gain one more time our independence. And our brave soldiers were fighting for Polish independence too, at the East. And at the East, you know, when they were fighting, they were without their families. They thought that it would be nice to create something which make their time spending at the war a little bit more present. So they created the football team. It shows also how powerful football as a sport it is, because you know, football is completely an international sport. It's, I think, the most international sport which has ever been created. So even during the wars, even during the pandemics, people always want to play football. And it was similar situation in 1916 when the Legia Warsaw was created. This is the Polish Army club. The Polish Army created it, and we are very strongly bound to the traditions of the Polish Army. Which means that the Polish Army Stadium is called because of our army, of course. The values of the club are also very strongly connected with the army. Our values are strength, the honor, the sacrifice, and purity. Our colors also show that, because we have a red color, which means the blood we sacrifice from the liberty of Poland, the white, which is symbolize the purity of your conscience, of your heart, and also the green, which of course is the army color. So we can say that Legia Warsaw itself reminds of our tradition of Polish army. Behind me you have some of the great photos from our club history, soldiers, but also the football players. You have to know that during the communism especially, our players were not only the sportsmen, but also the soldiers, and each one had their job in the Polish army. They could be the soldiers normally, they could be taken to the army, and plenty of our legends were also the soldiers. Then we have the greatest legend in our history. The first one is Kazimierz Dejna, and the second one is Lucjan Bryszczyk. Kazimierz Dejna, some say that he was, without any shadow of a doubt, the greatest football player in Polish history. He was a magician, he could do the ball, everything, and some people looking at, for example, Leo Messi right now, which I'm totally positive you know him, they say that Dejna wasn't worse than the international Argentinian stars. Unfortunately, Kazimierz Dejna passed away in 1989. He had a fatal car accident, and now we cannot enjoy his life. But on the other hand, we have Lucjan Bryszczyk. He's 84 years old right now, and he is a legend because he came to Legia when he was 20. So he's more than 60 years in one club. In this club, he was doing everything. First of all, he was a football player, then he was a coach, he was also the president of the club, and now he's the honor president of the club. He attends every game, and football players can still admire him. You know, now he's an old man, so he cannot do everything with the ball because of his health. But I remember that 10-15 years ago, he very often was coming at football trainings. For example, he was speaking with our goalkeepers, and he said that he will make them a challenge. I remind you that he was more than 60 years old in that time. and he was putting 10 balls in a row, and he said to the goalkeeper, the first one is for you. And he was shooting, and the goalkeeper was saving the shot. And then he told the second one is for you, but I want you to know that you are defending. And he was putting into the goal a very difficult shot, which goalkeepers has been defending. And then he said the third one and the rest, they are for me. And he was scoring 10-10. He was extremely good football player, and I have to tell you that he's also extremely good as a person. He's very modest. He was modest from the whole time he's been to the Legia Warsaw, and people are admire him. His wife is also a great woman. She is always saying any positive things about him, so I can tell you that I'm very proud that we have a legend like Lucian Brüchchen here. What is more about the traditions of Legia Warsaw? As I told you that we've been the army club since the beginning. We've been founded in 1916. Then I have to tell you that after 1916 we've been also struggling. As you know, there was a tragedy in Poland in the war, because the Second World War has begun in 1939, and our players, football players, they just took their guns and they're starting to defend the city. After the war, we've been also rebuilt our stadium. We also tried to play football again, and we won our first championship 10 years after the Second World War. In 1955, we won our first trophy ever. It was the Polish Cup, and in the same year, we also won the Polish Championship. Together, we won 15 Polish titles, Polish Championship, 19 Cups, and 4 Super Cups. We also, you may not know that, but in the 70s and 80s, Legia was really powerful in Europe, and now we are struggling to gain to the European competition. But for example, in 1970, we played in semi-final of Champions League, and it was very possible that we will go into the final, but unfortunately, as you know, we had a communion here. It's not the best solution for any country, and it was similar in Poland, because when we were going to the game against Feyenoord in a semi-final, some of our players were arrested by the police because they had dollars in their pockets. So we've been playing without 3 basic players, and this is one of the reasons why we didn't go into the final finally. I regret, because it's made that it was the only chance to go into the final of the Champions League by the Polish team. Unfortunately, we didn't succeed, and now we are struggling about being back into the Europe. We are struggling about being back to the level we all want to be. But we are struggling, and we of course play in the Polish Ekstraklasa. It's very important to be the champions, because the only way to get into the championship qualification is simply by the winning of the league. As I told you, we won the league.
Hello everyone. My name is Tomasz Zacholski. I'm the board member of Legia Warszawa, Legia Warsaw. So it's nice to have you here today at the stadium. And I guess we're waiting for our host to come over and ask me a couple of questions, and I will be very happy to answer all of them. Good to have you here. Here's our host. Hi, Kuba.
Hello, sir. So, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm all good. I'm fine. Beautiful Sunday. So it's nice to have you guys, coming over here and shooting this material, and we'll able to, I understand, present some interesting facts and information, especially to Korea, but all over the world.
I see that the mood is great, but it could be greater after the game. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but draw is also a valuable point.
Yeah, draw away is also something to not to moan about. But obviously, our aims are always higher. We want to win. So, but still, very proud as always from our shirt, from our spirits. So, keep on fighting and winning.
Will I exaggerate when I say that now I am speaking with the most important person in the Legia Training Center project?
I think it doesn't matter, who's the most important. I think the important fact is that together we built it. We created this beautiful infrastructure project, one of the most modern training centers in Europe, and certainly the best one in Poland and in Central Eastern Europe. So I'm very happy. I'm very proud from the whole team. And it was a team effort. It's like football, so it needs a team to win games, and in this case to build a project. So we're a team. But as a CEO of this project, as a head of the project, obviously I have some special responsibilities, and this is my task to guide the team, to lead them, and also to sometimes to make tough decisions. But this is what I also wanted, so it was my ambition, and it's great to be here.
Being the fan is more helpful or more disturbing in ruling the club and the academy?
I think it's a very good question, actually, and I think we are all as human beings, our minds are extremely, let's say, subjective, and we make a lot of emotional decisions. So being a football fan and loving the club, loving, since a child, everything was going on around Legia, then certainly it can be helpful sometimes, but sometimes it can be also sort of a bias, and it's not easy to make decisions in football in principle, but it's a very, let's say, fragile and delicate combination to being a board member in the club and a fan of the club. But then there's a beautiful saying that if you love something, you will. If you love something what you do, you will never work a single day in your life. But there's also a saying that if you love what you work around, you will always work. So there are two sides of this story and coin. So it has ups and downs, but at the end of the day, I'm just loving my job and loving people in the club and everyday energy around it. So it's great.
This summer we finally managed to open our academy, but when the project has actually started, because it wasn't even a year or two ago.
Yeah, the academy itself, it has already over a decade, but obviously we have been lacking as the club proper infrastructure. So we have been working on the new infrastructure on the Legia Training Center since 2014, probably. Searching for a good site and looking for the best way to finance the project, to find the general contractor and everything. So it takes a lot of time. Normally in Europe it takes around 7-8 years, and we managed to close it in 6 years. So it was, I think, it was a good timing. So it took some time. At the end of the day, the whole construction process was probably the shortest, around 1 year and a half. But it takes a lot of preparation, thought, planning, permissions, financing, everything else. So it took some time, but it was worth it. Now we have a second home, we have a beautiful stadium, and we have also Legia Training Center.
What was the most difficult part of building the whole academy?
It's many difficult moments in this project, because it's really hard to finance it, and it's really hard to especially to manage the construction during the pandemic. So we started around March, April last year, but then the final months of work, they were planned for spring this year, and it was middle of pandemic, so it was very hard to have workforce on the construction side, and a lot of emotions. So it was certainly probably the last months were most difficult. But again, with a good team, with a good spirits, with a clear goal, it's always doable. As our technical partner Adidas says, is impossible is nothing.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But did you have even one time a single thought that maybe it can fail? There were some difficulties like that?
No, I would rather say I had the days that I was just saying, okay, let's pass this day, and it will be already a good success, because some days were really, it was looking hard, difficult, but I'm always thinking, today is not the day when we will surround ourselves and stop fighting. You can always stop, but it should be not an option, especially for us with our history, with our, as a club, a military club fighting for independence, everything. The whole city is about surviving and fighting. So we are just doomed in a positive way to continue, keep on working.
I wonder how many emails and how many phone calls should have been made to finish everything.
Thousands, probably, thousands, or I don't know, tens of thousands. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But I mean, each and every email and phone call and conversation and meeting is crucial. Without it, nothing will happen. So it's a compound, effect, compound growth. Everything you do will in the summary give a great result.
Do you consider the Legia Training Center as a project of your life?
I mean, until now it's one of the key, let's say, tasks and projects I did, but I still am looking forward to, to a long, healthy life, hopefully, as all of us, and many projects ahead of us. So it's one of the greatest projects, certainly. Hopefully, I will remember it until the end, but looking forward to other ones as well.
What is so special in that academy? Because I heard that we have some parts who no one in Poland has. So what is the extraordinary in our academy?
Yeah, I mean, it's academy on one side, so we have youth players, but it's also a training center for the senior team, for the first team, for the second team. So we're like combining, working of the professional players, our stars, with development of future stars, of the future of the next generations. And we have many novelties, many things that are pretty much unique, starting from our Legia Lab, our research and development center in unit. We have a great gym, which is also unique, very spacious, very modern. We have a multifunctional hall. We have the biggest number of football fields, both natural and artificial. We have a great connection, with the city center, but with the airport. So we're also looking forward to hosting many international teams, also youth teams, but also senior teams from different locations coming over, staying a couple of days, training, and so it's absolutely something special in this part of Europe, and certainly is the best facility in Poland.
It's somehow that every investment have to pay back. So when do you expect that our investment is going to pay back itself?
It's very hard to to make such a calculation. The budget was over 25 million euros or dollars, and then paying back, it's plus every day of the operation also costs. But as everything what we do in Legia, obviously we have our business acumen and business side. But we also think about the whole social value of it. So bringing up future best footballers in Poland, it's priceless. So I would say every footballer, every young athlete who will succeed thanks to Legia Training Center, it will be already a huge payback. But also financially wise, I think within the next decade it should the return on investment should be positive.
Do you want to develop the LTC even more? Right, it's developed now.
I mean, it's 15 hectares of land, but there is a nice, area around it, so we can still develop it. And obviously, we have some plans. So still, we will take it step by step, and we'll maybe during our next conversation we can surprise you with some nice development plans.
You see the trainings in LTC. You have some bright stars shining who can be shining at the pitch soon?
Of course, there's a whole lineup. Our, let's say, golden group has around 20 players. They are mixing. Obviously, in such a young age, it's a process. One is better this month, and then the next one the other. But we have a good group of players, and they are still each, let's say, transfer window. Some new faces appear. and some of the talents will explode. You never know when. But I have some of my favorites. But again, let me be my my, let's say, secret, and then we'll see in a couple of months or years who is really the top one. But I think we have really a depth of talents, and we have also great staff, great coaches, and you know, it's like in each process and company, or especially club, it's everyone is important, starting from the ladies who are cleaning and guys who are cleaning the place, through greenkeepers, through technical staff. Everyone contributes their work to create the atmosphere, and also the teachers, you know. So it's a very complicated process to let's say help young athletes to develop.
You mentioned the atmosphere, and when I was talking with the academy director, the Richard Grosholtenko, also mentioned the academy in this place is extraordinary. So, in which this atmosphere is so extraordinary, and what does it mean that we have an atmosphere here?
I think, yeah, it's starting from people. So when you have people who are, you know, who really like what they do and like each other, and you know, of course, no one is ideal, and someone, you know, can have a worse day, and you know, it's not like in the dreamland, but still, when there is a, you know, connection, and we can meeting every day, we smile to each other and give you know, positive energy. And especially in football, when sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, you have tougher moments, but when you can, you know, count on people around you, then it's a great atmosphere. That's certainly a key value, and it's a fundament. Plus, when you have a great infrastructure, it's like with a house, with the stadium, with everything around you, where you live, it also creates the atmosphere. So when you have beautiful green fields, when you have new, you know, building you care about, there are a lot of small details in the building, like, for example, electronic arts branding. You know, the players have their FIFA foot cards, so everything creates the atmosphere, and I think it's extremely important. We have a beautiful patio now, when during the sunny days you can also chill out. So many factors which, at the end of the day, they make the atmosphere special.
You mentioned about the people, that everyone is important in the building, but who is the most important? Who is a key to roll successfully the academy?
No, I wouldn't say that there are, you know, singly most important people, because it's a team, it's a group. So if there's one or more weak links, then it will be hard to complete the development of these players. At the end of the day, the players are probably most important, because they are the ones who have to fight for the most, and have to have the hunger, the motivation, the willingness to succeed, and it's really difficult. But then people around them, their teachers, their coaches, the nutritionists, the strength and conditioning coaches, the psychologists, everyone is important. So it's really absolutely about teamwork and finding good people on each position.
So talking about the academy, you can say that we have a city in the city.
Facility in the city?
No, the city, just the city, because, you know, I think that they have everything they need.
Okay, like they have a small, let's say, city within Legia training center. Yeah, probably. I would more call it a campus, like a place, you know, where you obviously spend a lot of time, and you can, you know, eat and sleep there, and train, and, you know, watch games or TV or whatever, and, you know, and read and so on, and also have time for yourself and have a walk, because the facility is beautiful, and you will also see it. So yeah, it's a campus. It's like, you know, many companies have their campuses. This is our Legia campus.
You know which university in Poland is the best?
Warsaw University.
Of course, so the University of Legia Training Center will also be the best.
Absolutely, this is the football university, you know, high school of great football. So yeah, come over, visit from all over the world. Of course, when it will be possible, but I'm sure that we will all meet healthy and safe in the next months and years in Legia Training Center.
I'm looking forward to this, because this stadium looks very poor without the fans at the stands, but I think that it's a matter of time that we will be able to again visit the stadium and the academy also.
Yeah, I think football always gives a lot of hope and, you know, positive emotions, and obviously we miss a lot fans at the stadiums, because it's all about the fans, the atmosphere, the chanting, and the clapping, this fantastic noise which lifts this stadium and lifts also the players, the spirits. So we miss them, but we stay positive. We arrange a lot of various actions and projects which will help us survive this time, and we'll see us again. I'm more than sure. This beautiful stadium in LTC, and people in football will take us through this hard time.
The highest transfer outside from the club was Radek Majewski, it was 7 million euros. So because of the academy, when do you expect to break that record?
It's very difficult to predict, because it's how much at the end someone is willing then to pay for the player or for the transfer rights. Plus now the market is a bit let's say slower because of the pandemic. But I'm confident that basically every year we'll be breaking the next records or being close to them, and that with our reputation, with the players we have, with the Legia Training Center, we will be really succeeding. Every year will be about something special. So we'll see.
You said that you have some stars you picked up that they are branding Solskjaer. Of course, you cannot say the names, but on which positions are the players right now?
I think we have great traditions in goalkeeping. So I think we will continue to have one of the best goalkeepers in Europe and maybe even the world. So there's certainly at least one player in the goal. We have also very good, again, historically central defenders, and I'm looking especially at one central defender.
And I am a professional FIFA player for Legia Warsaw, and this is my teammate Gracjan Gołębiewski. We want to introduce you our esports section. So Gracjan, can you tell us more about our section?
Okay, just like Miłosz said, it's very nice to meet you. The new competitive season has just started. As Miłosz said, we are the esports representative of the competitive scene of FIFA 20, and this year we have a big project in mind. I just wanted to say that the esport is actually a massive thing, and it doesn't only concentrate on the gaming. We have a lot of things coming soon, so stay tuned. And I just wanted to tell you more about us. We are like I said, tournament players. We travel around the world. We have been to many countries, so it's a big opportunity for us. This is why we love what we do. We have visited countries such as Budapest, Barcelona, Manchester, Atlanta, Paris. So it's a great opportunity. And Miłosz, would you like to tell us about the places?
Yeah, in my whole career I visited a few countries. I was in Barcelona, in Paris, in Budapest. The best memories I have with the trip to the Barcelona, because I'm a big fan of FC Barcelona football club, and I had opportunity to watch the game live on Camp Nou, and that was fantastic.
So there you go. I mean, it's really great because it doesn't only concentrate on gaming, but we get to see a lot of the world. This is very exciting, and we just want to say that esports concentrates on many different things. We also have private lives, so we are not just simply gamers. We look after ourselves, so it's also very important to look after your physical state of the body. It helps the mind to concentrate, and yeah, this is what it's all about really. And we're looking forward to the new competitive season this year. So remember to stay healthy, stay safe, and see you together.
Herself and her work here at Legia.
Yes, as you can see, yesterday we had a game, so we have working weekend, but on Sunday we are also here, and my challenge is a little bit difficult because I am working mom. As you may see, here's my son, but it helps your family to understand. Big challenge is Legia for as a job. Because it's really demanding. You work all the week, the weekend, and it's really big emotional potential. So it's not like a usual job. It's something more. It's more than football, as we told today many times. but it's also really nice experience when your whole family supports the club. Everybody's asking what about the results, about the atmosphere, about the plans. So I think it's really nice thing.
Okay, so Isa, tell us, does your whole family support Legia with you and come to the games with you?
They have, there is no excuse because everybody must support
They have to
Legia.
come.
Yeah. So when there is a match day, everybody wears Legia colors, scarves. If there is any possibility, they can visit the stadium. My family from the whole Poland were here many times. Nowadays, it's a difficult time, but even watching on TV, everybody is supporting Legia.
Okay, and if they do come to the games, do they choose to sit at the family stands or do they go to Żeleta, which is our special stand?
It depends which part of my family we talk about, because of course young kids prefers the family sector where they can play games. My son, when it comes to go to the stadium with the father or with my mom, they choose family sector. But when we are talking about the teens who want to, feel more, how to say, mature, strong, they prefer Żeleta, so they can scream and, express themselves. But Mama, Max still Legia.
Okay, Isa, can you tell us a little bit more about your work behind the cameras for Legia as a media officer?
I think that whole my mature career, when we are talking about the job, is connected with Legia. I started my career almost 10 years ago when I was studying in the press office. Now, for 8 years, I work in the club as a media officer. So every year is different. Every year brings new challenges, new problems, but also, how to say, new experiences. But this is what I love in my job, because we cannot plan as much as we can, because we have to be as much flexible as it's possible. But as I said, this job has really big emotional potential. So you have to love your job to work in Legia.
Okay, and Isa, do you have a favorite Legia project that you just remember?
I have many of them. I think that I cannot choose one. This year, I think Ania Miluska, the president of our foundation, already told about it. Was Gotowi do Pomocy. When we reacted to this difficult situation in Warsaw, we helped seniors, and every sector in a club was involved. Yes. Even our sector, media house and the press office, because we produced a little bit different content to promote it, to engage as many people as it's possible, to promote the product, to promote the needs of the seniors. We invited a lot of celebrities, so not only the players is Legia about, but about the people.
Yes, so the employees too.
Great. I think so.
Okay. And were you always related to football, or was Legia your
I think
first?
so. I think so, because I was studying journalism, and my how to say, specific part of it was a sports journalist. So I was searching for some kind of experience. So I started to work in Legia as a volunteer during the match days. And step by step, I started my career here, and today I work as a media officer with a lot of responsibilities, with a really fantastic team of people. So I'm really proud of that. The job is a little bit difficult, because when you are between players and media, between club and media, so one part of is pushing, the second part is pushing, so it's difficult sometimes. But nowadays, as I said, we have to be more kind for each other. So it's more difficult, but at
very dynamic.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay, and do you play yourself? That's my question of the day.
I won't say that many times, but a few times. But my husband, he's also working as a young players trainer.
Okay, so he's a coach.
Yeah, he's also a sports journalist. He works as an expert for La Liga and Bundesliga. So as I said in the beginning, football is our whole life for our family. So even if not Legia,
football.
Yeah. Mama, my baby is saying, Mama, it's time for dinner. So
guys, remember.
Okay, I'm pleased to welcome you one more time. Now we are staying in a beautiful locker room of our third team, and my guest is our central defender, Mateusz Wieteska. Hello, Mateusz.
Hello, Kuba.
We are going to speak in Polish, and tonight translate our football star has to say. Mateusz, przede wszystkim jak się czujesz, jak zdrowie, bo wiemy, że szedłeś z kontuzją, no i jak ta twoja kontuzja teraz wygląda?
Znaczy tak, już przechodzę trening indywidualny z piłką, więc został mi w sumie ostatni tydzień do tego, żeby dołączyć do treningów z drużyną. No to jest mój drugi ten sam raz w ostatnim czasie, więc...
And then I pause and I translate to our fans. So I asked Mateusz how is he doing, how is his health? Because he had an injury and he said that for a week he's training individually and soon he will be able to back at the pitch. So my proposition is that we're gonna speak for a while in Polish and then I translate to you everything you could possibly understand everything. Mateusz, kontynuuj.
No i w przyszłym tygodniu zacznę treningi już razem z zespołem, więc no bardzo się cieszę, bo ostatnio przez 1,5 miesiąca praktycznie cały czas miałem problemy ze swoim ciałem, więc...
And in next week, Mateusz is going to start his trainings with the team because he said that he is extremely happy to do this because for last 1.5 months he had a problem with his body, but now I think everything should be over. Mateusz, czy ty zawsze chciałeś być piłkarzem?
Może nie zawsze. Od małego zawsze gdzieś ściągnęło mnie na boisko, bracia mnie wyciągali, czy to na podwórko, czy no żeby coś robić ze sportem i najbardziej mi się spodobała po prostu piłka i od 8 roku życia w sumie trenuję, może nie profesjonalnie, ale trenuję w jakimś tam klubie piłkarskim.
I asked Mateusz, is it that he from his childhood wanted to be a footballer? He said that not maybe the professional footballer, but of course he liked football. He had older brothers who even forced him to go at the pitch with them, and then he started to train. But at the beginning, he didn't even think that he would be the football player. I mean, in professional way. A kiedy ta profesjonalizacja już się zaczęła się pojawiać, kiedy stwierdziłeś, że no to jest chyba jednak ta droga, którą pójdę w życiu?
Ja myślę, że od kiedy się zainteresowałem mną Legia, czyli w wieku 13 lat, to stwierdziłem, że trzeba poświęcić wszystko i zrobić wszystko, żeby zaistnieć w piłce i myślę, że właśnie ten wiek mógłbym uznać za kluczowy.
I asked Mateusz when the football became for him the way of life, that the way that he wanted to do it professionally, like a full-time job, and he said that in the age of 13, when the Legia Warsaw looked for him, Legia noticed him, take it to the club, and he thought that, okay, when I'm in the Legia, now I have to focus to become the professional player in all aspects. Twój debiut w pierwszym zespole niezbyt szczęśliwy, natomiast potem już chyba było zdecydowanie lepiej. Jakie masz takie mecze, które w Twoim wykonaniu były, uważasz, najlepsze i najfajniejsze w pierwszym zespole?
Znaczy, no na pewno debiut nie był zbyt udany, no bo w sumie w Superpuchar debiut przegraliśmy i w lidze tak samo przegraliśmy 1-0 z GKS-em Bełchatów, więc mogę uznać za złe początki, ale później wydaje mi się, że jak wróciłem do Legii, to te mecze takie z Lechem Poznań mógłbym powiedzieć, że były takie najbardziej przełomowe i w sumie najlepsze w moim wykonaniu.
I asked Mateusz about his first games. They weren't as best as it could be, because when he made his debut, Legia lost. But then I asked him, okay, after the poor beginnings, what was your favorite game you played in Legia team? And he said that each game against Leg, it was the greatest rival of Legia Warsaw in Poland, that he felt good during these games, that he performed well, and he said that the most important games against Leg were the best for him. Co to znaczy wyjść na boisko jako piłkarz Legii Warszawa? Co się wtedy czuje? Zwłaszcza jeżeli nie jest to dla Ciebie klub obojętny, bo z Legią jesteś związany od dzieciństwa i wychowałeś się zresztą w mieście, które również jest bardzo mocno legijne.
No tak, ja jestem praktycznie z Mazowsza, jestem, można już teraz powiedzieć, że wychowankiem tego klubu, więc na pewno czuję wielką dumę i odpowiedzialność za zespół, bo w każdym meczu staram się godnie reprezentować czy to na arenie polskiej, czy na arenie międzynarodowej, więc na pewno wielką dumę i odpowiedzialność za to, żeby te wyniki były jak najlepsze.
Mateusz was born in the city who is strongly connected to Legia. He's connected to Legia since his childhood. As he mentioned, he was 13 when he had his first training in our team. And I asked him, what does it feel and how does it feel to the fun of the team, to become its player and perform at the pitch? And he said that the most important thing and the first thing is that he feels great proud. Nevertheless, if you play for the national team or for Legia, but this pride is also the most important aspect. When he play in L or his shirt or the Polish coat of arms, he always feels a great pride to be the footballer. Taki moment w Twojej karierze, który był dla Ciebie przełomowy z jakiegoś powodu, takie wydarzenie, które sprawiło, że dzisiaj jesteś w tym miejscu, w którym jesteś, to co by to było?
Ja bym mógł wybrać dwa takie przełomowe. Na pewno pierwsze wypożyczenie do Chrobrego Głogów i później odejście definitywne z opcją pierwokupu do Górnika Zabrze. Wydaje mi się, że wtedy ten sezon, który rozegraliśmy tam w Górniku, okazał się bardzo dobry i także dla mnie był bardzo dobry, więc uważam, że głównym sezonem, głównym takim celem to złe słowo, ale główną drogą, głównym wyborem było odejście właśnie do tego Górnika, żeby się ograć i móc wrócić i rywalizować w pełni w Legii.
I asked Mateusz about the most important moments of his career, and he said that there were two of them. First of all, when he has been loaned to Chrobrego Głogów, this is the team who played in the Polish second division. And the second one is that when he was bought by Górnik Zabrze, this is also the team from Polish Ekstraklasa, but he was bought, it was not loan, but he was bought. So technically he wasn't a player of the Legia Warsaw anymore, but he struggled to be back here, and he thinks that first of all the loan to Chrobrego Głogów, and the second of all to the transfer to Górnik Zabrze gave him motivation, gave him confidence, and he was able to just play and just perform and to be on the highest level. Kiedy się gra w klubie innym niż Legia Warszawa, docenia się wszystkie warunki, które tutaj są bardziej?
Myślę, że tak, bo na pewno w żadnym innym klubie niż Legia nie ma takich warunków jak tutaj. Wszystko jest dopięte na ostatni guzik, gdzie zawodnik może czuć się w pełni komfortowo i tylko skupić się na piłce, więc wydaje mi się, że takie odejścia, tak jak dla mnie, jak byłem młodym chłopakiem, pokazują, że trzeba mocno pracować, żeby tu wrócić, żeby mieć to z powrotem i mi się to udało i życzę tego każdemu młodemu chłopakowi, żeby zobaczył, jak to jest poza Legią i żeby miał taką motywację, żeby móc tutaj wrócić.
I asked Mateusz how it is to play for a different club. When you play for a different club, do you appreciate more all the conditions you have in Legia? And he said that for sure, because now this is the perfect place to develop for the young player, that he can perform here well, he can do everything what he can. Unfortunately, when you go to the weaker club, you appreciate more what you have here, because you don't have facilities, you don't have all the conditions to play at this level. So when he said that when he was loaned, when he was sold to the other team, he was struggling even more to come back to that level. Mateusz, dziękuję Ci bardzo za rozmowę. Thank you so much, and thank you to you also.
Good afternoon from the very special zone at the Legia Stadium at the temple of Polish football. We are located between Legia dressing room and visitors dressing room. there is not any other place at our stadium when you can feel better sports emotion surrounded the game. My name is Bartosz Zasławski. I am a worker in Legia press office and I am responsible for all media matters. I am honored to work for my lovely club since April 2009. That time I was just finishing the university and I was looking for any way I can cooperate with Legia. I made a call to then press officer and asked him is it possible to help him during the games. He answered yes, and in this way I found myself in Legia. Firstly, I served as the volunteer, later as a temporary worker for media events, press conferences and of course games. And next step was to join to Legia press office for full time. I am very proud to be here because I don't consider it as a job. This is my dream, this is my reality, and this is my club. Legia is the biggest, the most popular, the most successful club in Poland. We estimate we have even 6 million fans here and abroad. Legia has also a huge media coverage. Try to imagine that at our every game there are at least 120, 130 journalists. But for example, when we played in European Cups group stage, this number was even above 200, and record attendance we noticed during the game against Real Madrid in Champions League group stage 2016-17 when we invited 305 journalists. Legia games are shown by Kanal Plus and TVP, Polish public TV, always in the prime time because we have the biggest viewership. During the match day, we start to prepare the organization many days before. Each game is broadcasted by 16 cameras. The transmission vehicle can arrive even 2 hours before each game, and try to imagine that the cables around the stadium has even 15 kilometers long. The journalists work during our games at the press stand, which is situated at the 5th floor in the central part of main stand. There are 24 commentatory positions in the special cabins. These cabins are muted, but journalists very often keep the door open to better describe what is going on the pitch. Each place is equipped with a desktop place, the power supply and Wi-Fi dedicated only for media. Here in the dressing room area we have special places for TV interviews. We are obliged to make interview with one player in the halftime and after the final whistle. What I want to show you in this area is something special. There is a wall of champions. Each player and each coach who had won championship title with Legia is presented on this picture. Legia has 15 Polish championship titles, record 19 Polish Cups and 4 Super Cups, and these 58 trophies make us the most titled team in Poland. I would like to show you special figures in Legia history. On this portrait there is Sir Lucian Bricci, a really monument in Legia history. Try to imagine that he represents our club since 1954, so 66 years in one club. I don't know any other player, coach, chairman, whoever who was devoted to one club longer than Mr. Lucian in Legia. Our old trophies, he has his very huge impact on them, and he's one of our symbols with the great authority amongst our supporters. Another greatest star in Legia history is Kazimierz Dejna. Dejna was 13 years younger than Mr. Lucian. He was born in 1944, but they played with each other through 12 seasons, and that Legia from the end of 60s and the beginning of 70s by many observers until today he is a member of coaching staff. the most internationally recognized Legia coaches was Henningberg, former defender of Manchester United. He took championship title with Legia in 2014, and Stanisław Czerczesow. He took a title with Legia in 2016 when we celebrated centenary. But for our supporters, the highest estimated coach ever was Jarosław Wojwoda. He led the team with Sir Lucian Brykczy and Kazimierz Dejna in 1970s, and he achieved our biggest success on the international stage, so semi-final of the European Cup. So why this wall is located right here? Try to imagine, you are a Legia player, you go to this area just a few minutes before the first whistle, you see around what is going on, and you think, oh, I play in a great club. There were so many champions. I would like to be a champion too. But also, it influences on our rivals. They come here as the same way. Just a few minutes before the first whistle, they look and they think, oh, we play against a very successful club. A very tough game is ahead of us. So it works in this way. And what's more, I would like to show you one more thing. In front of the Legia dressing room, there is a golden handprint on Lucian Brycz's hand. And there is a custom among our players. When they are here, they are preparing for the game, they come and put their hand as the sign for a luck. What's more, I would like to talk in the dressing room area. We have a special motto for our club, for our supporters. These are words of Józef Piłsudski, a coordinator of Polish independence in 1918, when Legia in 1916 was established during the First World War. This sentence says, to be defeated but not surrender, that is a win. To win but to rest on laurels, that is a defeat. Next to this written, you have a photo of the ceremony when we celebrated our previous championship title. There was a custom for many years that after taking the championship, our players and coaching staff moved by open bus to the old town and celebrated with thousands of supporters gaining the next trophies. I show you that Legia is the past, the present and the future of Polish football. I'm sure it's worth to be one of us, and I encourage you to visit our website legia.com, our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, when we daily present how Legia life looks like. I'm very proud to be with you. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much. Some greetings for you.
This is my very last time, I promise you, because actually it's fourth time, mine fourth time here at this live. But now we are on the training pitch of the first team, usually by the first team, but with the coach of under 15 young players from the academy, Darek Rolak.
Right.
And he will explain you what is the role of the coach in the academy, what is the logistic academy after our moving from Legia to Legia Training Center, and in general what is Legia Academy, and yes, the floor is yours.
All right. So, first of all, let's go.
Yes.
My first goal as a coach is develop the players to be on the professional level, to bring them one day to the stadium behind us to make an official debut. But of course we need to take care about these players because we bring them to the academy very early, and we need to give them, of course, education and some values, because we want to have the players with good character. We want to raise them as a good people. Of course, the second thing is the football thing. So we want to give them set of skills to get into the professional level. Like you see here, this is a one field, because in the academy we have two places right now. One is Łazienkowska Street And here we have the teams of U10 till U14, and the second place is really new, as it mentioned before, Legia Training Center in Książenice, and there we have teams from U15 till Legia second, Legia B team. Together it's like around 200 players who train in our academy, and this is really nice thing to share with the people, that a lot of these kids maybe in future they get professional level. Last 2 years, it was like 2 years ago, 70 players make their games, official games, in the first, second or Ekstraklasa leagues. So
this is a big amount comparing with
we are the first one, the best ones. So last season it was like 64 players who played these official games.
Okay, so could you please describe us how looks one day from everyday living of the player, of your guys?
Yeah, so it's important to say, like, we bring the kids to our academy from Poland, from different areas in Poland, and we have like a boarding house. So 74 players live day by day in this boarding house. So we need to take care about them a lot. So from the very morning, when they get up at 6:30, they have a breakfast. Then they go to school. After school, we have training session around 3:30. After training sessions, we have additional work to do, strength and conditioning coach, some workshops with the players, and of course later it's like a supper time. Then it's like a time for education again, and guys go sleep at 10 o'clock, and next day is the same. So maybe it's not so different every day. It's maybe the same days, but if they want to be top players, they need to sacrifice a little bit themselves.
So unfortunately we have to finish. So thank you very much for this big dose of very important knowledge, and take care, stay safe, see together, stay healthy.
Yeah, and stay strong. Bye bye.
Okay, so now we are coming to an end. It was extremely pleasure to meet you here at our beautiful stadium, to tell you something about our history, our traditions, cultures, and what is the most important about Legia Warsaw itself. It was a great pleasure for me, and I think to every one of us. So my message for the end: stay safe, wear a mask, have a distance, and soon we will be able to meet at our stadium.
Bye.
Bye. See you. Thank you.